These are some of the best and worst designer bags that you can buy right now, and I'm going to be sharing why. I've been a luxury bag collector for over 10 years now, so let's call this my professional bag opinion, and I'm going to be sharing my very favorite at the end of the video. Hey, if you are new here, my name is Steph. Now let's start with what I think are some of the worst bags that you can buy in 2024 based on my opinion. Now the first one is a really hard one to admit because I actually have a strong emotional attachment to this particular style of bag. And the reason for this attachment is it's actually the bag that ignited my desire for ever wanting a designer bag in the first place. Now it turns out that I did not extinguish that flame. In fact, I think I poured fuel on it and now we're sat in a room full of designer bags. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's funny how things work out. So a little bit of a story time here on why I have an emotional attachment to this bag. I studied fashion design at college, and whilst we were there, we went on a trip to the Victoria and Albert in London, so a museum, and once we'd been round we actually had some free time, and I remember going to Oxford Street and specifically Selfridges, and in the window was this specific bag, and I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I could get my hands on that bag. Now I absolutely could not afford one at the time. It is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. So why has this bag made it onto my worst list, considering that I eventually did get myself one of these incredibly popular tote bags? The sad truth is, I think there's three reasons why the Neverfull isn't a great buy in 2024. The first reason is quite an obvious one, and that is price increases. When I remember seeing this bag in the window in Selfridges, I believe they retailed at about £400 or £500. Gosh, that feels so different to what they are now. And then I would say a few years ago, pre-pandemic, you could get a Neverfull for less than £8,000. That has all changed, and now they retail at about £1,400 in the UK, about $1,600, $1,700 in the US. And I think there are better bags around this price point now available that I'll come on to when we go through the best bags. The second reason is that the Neverfull is such a popular bag. It's probably the most popular bag in the world, that you are going to see the Neverfull tote bag everywhere, and that includes a sea full of fakes of this bag. So if you are looking for something more unique and that you aren't going to see 10 million times over at the airport when you're going on holiday, this is not the bag for you. And the third reason, like I've touched on, you can get full leather bags, what I think are potentially higher quality bags, for a very similar price point. The second worst bag that I think you could buy this year has been hot for many years, but for some reason recently on the resale market, I am seeing loads of them in really popular colorways just sat there and no one is buying them. And I really love this style of bag until I had one myself, and this is the Chanel DeVille tote bag. So I'm just going to throw this out there. I actually really like the look of this tote bag, if you don't mind a logo on it, because they generally are plastered with kind of Chanel on the front. So I purchased my first DeVille bag a few years ago. It was actually during the pandemic, directly from Chanel, and it was this beautiful ecru in the medium size. It had like brown leather and champagne gold hardware. It had the pearls, like the logo was made from like faux pearls on the front, and I will say it was so beautiful. But even though it was pretty, I actually felt like I fell out of love with the bag after owning it. And in summary, right now we're very much in a quiet luxury kind of era, and that is why I think a lot of these are sitting on the pre-loved market, because they generally have Chanel plastered on the front of them. And one of the biggest bugbears for me with this bag is they are really heavy. And similar to Louis Vuitton, if not worse than Louis Vuitton, we have seen huge price increases over the last few years from Chanel. So if you would like this raffia version of the DeVille tote bag, it is going to set you back around £8,000. Now for me, when it comes to £8,000 spending on a bag, I want a classic item that is going to last forever, and I can tell you that these raffia versions of the DeVille tote bag are even heavier than the canvas versions. And when it comes to raffia in general, I think there are cooler brands out there right now. So Loewe is a very hot brand right now, and they are really well known for some of their beautiful raffia bags. They are a fraction of the price, arguably cooler, and definitely more lightweight. I really like the Ibiza ones as well, where they've got the colour woven through and the anagram logo on the front. So for your raffia bags and tote bags, maybe look at a brand like Loewe as opposed to Chanel. The third worst bag on our list today, do you know what? This bag has been growing on me recently. However, I still don't think it would make a good purchase. This is the Bottega Jodie bag. Now, whilst this is quite a trendy hot bag right now, I don't think functionality wise this this is a great bag because the only way you can really hold it is in your hand or on the crook of your arm. Unless you've got one of the larger sizes, you can't put them on your shoulder. You cannot crossbody them. And this is one of those bags that I believe you can get on the resale market for much, much less than what they retail for. Also, I've heard that the zipper, especially on the smaller ones, can jam quite easily, and it's quite a hard bag to get into, especially with the smaller sizes. So whilst this one looks really cool, I think there are better options from Bottega, such as the Hop bag, which is like a larger shoulder bag, and also the Andiamo tote bag, one of my favorites right now, super, super hot. And I believe Bottega do have quite a wide range of these smaller sized bags. So whilst the Jodie is looking cool, I don't think it's going to be cool in the next few years when maybe everyone's selling them on because they aren't the most practical. The fourth worst designer bag that I think you could buy this year is the Le Cagole bag from Balenciaga for so many reasons. It really does depend on your style, but personally, I really don't like the look of this bag. I think it's one of the ugliest bags out there on the market, unless it's your style and you can pull it off. Of course, this is just my opinion, guys, on all of these bags. If you love or have any of these pieces that I'm saying are the worst bags to buy, just my opinion. You should buy what you love first and foremost, regardless of what anyone else thinks. But okay, with this bag, this one has very much the Y2K kind of vibe to it. It feels quite young, but it costs thousands of pounds, thousands of dollars, and I don't think this is a classic style. Again, I think you'll be able to pick one of these up very cheaply on the resale market. And not just mentioning that, we did have, was it last year, the scandal with the Balenciaga marketing stuff. I know a lot of you still are very much, I am never buying from Balenciaga ever again due to that marketing scandal. So again, these are just going to lose their value so much. I would definitely look at a Celine shoulder bag, for example, way more classy. They don't have the stigma of the marketing campaign, and the logo is really beautiful. These are more timeless. The Le Cagole is not. Worst bag number 5 is a cult classic, especially when it comes to a travel bag, one that I have fallen victim to. So again, I have this bag. Why am I saying it's one of the worst bags to buy? This is going to be super controversial, so share your thoughts in the comments if it does differ, but it's actually the Louis Vuitton Keepall bag. Now, I've learned the hard way, so this is the 45 with the black leather. I put a lot of thought into which size and what leather option to go for with this Keepall, and I will say it is a really beautiful bag. However, very similar to the Neverfull, you see absolutely loads of them. You see loads of fakes. And guys, this bag, again, it does have quite a bit of weight to it. And I have personally taken this on holiday with me before, and dragging it around and wearing it crossbody, it is super heavy. I much prefer just a wheel case. They are so much more practical. But if you are dead set on getting a designer travel bag, I would say I have seen the Gucci Boston bag quite a few times in person now, and they have zippers that go down the side of the bag, which is super helpful because on the Keepall, they only go across the top. So whilst you can get into the bag, it's still kind of, I don't know, it doesn't open out as much as I would like. So if you are dead set, like I say, on a designer travel bag, like a Keepall like this, maybe for weekends away, I now personally am looking at selling my Keepall and I would get a Gucci Boston instead. The 6th bag on our list. This bag has had a moment in the sun. It was quite brief, and it was where Gucci were basically gifting this bag to loads of influencers. And, you know, give some of these influencers anything and they're going to look fantastic with it because they look fantastic with anything. But when I look at this bag just for what it is, the entity itself as a bag, this bag, I think, is so ugly. It is not classic, it is not timeless, and I personally will never be adding one to my collection. And this is the Gucci Horsebit bag. Now, we have ones with like the GG logo all over them. They have this like huge horse bit over, but it's the actual shape of the bag. Like it kind of almost looks like a widened bum figure. I don't even know. It is just not nice at all. And I've seen these in shearling. These in shearling in these bright colours, whilst they look fun, the chain on them looked so cheap. And these bags aren't cheap. They are going to set you back thousands of pounds, thousands of dollars. I haven't seen one on anyone other than on Instagram for where Gucci has gifted this bag, in all honesty. Let me know, have you seen any of these bags out in the wild? Because I definitely haven't, and I can see why. And finally, the 7th worst bag I think you can buy this year before we move on to what I think are some of the best purchases. Now, please don't come at me with pitchforks. This is actually a bag I love. I love it so much I bought 2 of them. I only now have one. I literally posted the other one yesterday. It has now gone to a new home. I do think these bags look really beautiful, but stay with me. This is, again, just my opinion, but it is the Chanel 19 bag. So I had the small size in the caramel leather. It was the most beautiful caramel, and I know so many of you absolutely loved it. I also have the large size here in tweed, which I do not plan to get rid of, but there are a few downsides that I have found with this bag. I do think they are very cool looking, and one of the most practical, but I have found with this bag, especially the larger size, they become very heavy because of these chains and the straps, and you cannot take these off. The smaller one isn't so bad because it's not quite as heavy, but I just love the way that this one looks. So I've decided to keep my tweed. I've sold my small caramel, and I know so many people do love their Chanel 19 bag. It's probably one of the most functional from Chanel. So if you love it, go for it. But for me, there was a cinching factor in why I finally decided to let go of my Chanel 19, the small one, even though I wasn't reaching for it. I didn't want to let it go because it was a very rare color and I did think it was beautiful, but, and again, this is controversial, I bought my Louis Vuitton Go 14. I know not everyone likes this on this particular colorway. If you haven't seen it in person, I highly recommend because it's so beautiful. And this bag, because of the price increases from Chanel, so I got mine when they were closer to £4,000 and now they retail at £5,500. So the same price as the Go 14 in the MM size from Louis Vuitton. This, for me, is a better bag. It feels better quality. There's more stitching on it. There's more detail. The hardware feels higher quality. The bag is fully leather lined. The Chanel bags are not. They have like a fabric lining inside. This one even has a little mirror in it. Top handle, you have this beautiful, beautiful gold chain, which you can change all these handles round so that you can crossbody it. You can add this as an extender. You can wear it as a shoulder bag. You can take this off completely and just use the top handle. For me, it started to get to a point where there was just no competition. My Chanel 19 was way too similar. And what I would say is, if you are looking at a Chanel 19, just based on the current prices, I think you can actually get a better quality bag. Arguably, Chanel is kind of seen as more premium to Louis Vuitton, so I understand that. And I do think they, again, look really cool, especially like the black leather ones. They're beautiful. But for me, I don't think the Chanel 19 is the best bag to buy in 2024. I think there are better options at the same price point, if not lower. And there's another alternative to the Chanel 19 that if you do like this bag, I would consider this one heavily. This is the Bulgari Cabochon bag. Now, I have tried one of these on before. It's a very similar style to the Chanel 19. It has the chain going across the top. You could wear it as a clutch. Now, this one is more versatile. It is a few £1,000s, few $1,000s cheaper, and the bag is leather lined. You can also detach the leather strap that comes with it if you want to kind of wear it as a clutch or an evening. It's just more versatile, and at around £2,500 versus Chanel's 19, which is £5,500, I personally think the Bulgari bag is just as higher quality, if not, you know, maybe more, because it does have the leather lining, and you can save yourself £3,000. As you might be able to tell, I'm just really struggling to justify the Chanel 19 bag anymore, despite the fact that I do really like them. So those are what I think are some of the worst bags you can buy in 2024. My heart is a little bit broken from it, but those are just my opinions and experiences. So what do I think are some of the best bags on a lighter note that you can buy right now? The first bag is a super popular one and it's going to be timeless and classic. It is being dubbed the new Birkin. And it is, of course, the Margot bag from The Row. So this bag actually featured in my 2024-2025 bag trends video. I will link that video down below if you want to watch it after this one. And in that video, I actually pulled together a free downloadable PDF for you. So in that was all the big trends. I picked out 9 bags from each trend. All the PDF is linked so you can just click on things and shop it really easily, as well as 20 outfits fully shoppable featuring some of these on trend bags. So I did an affordable outfit for each trend and a more expensive outfit for each trend. It's completely free to download. I'll pop a link up here for you and again down below in the description box. So why do do I think the Margot bag is going to be a good buy? I'm going to caveat this. I think this is going to be a good buy if you like classic, timeless pieces and you dress in more of a minimalist kind of way. You aren't into your big logos and big prints. You just want a bag that is going to be a workhorse for many years. It's not going to attract too much attention, but if you know, you know. Like, this is just going to be one of those bags that in 20 years time when it's battered, it's probably going to look even better, and it's still never going to look out of place. The style of this bag is simply going to transcend time. The best bag that I think you can buy, number 2, was my best bag buy of last year. I am very biased, but honestly, it has just been the most wonderful bag, and even more so. And it is the Celine 16. Now, talking of a bag that's going to transcend time, very much right now, the Hermès Kelly bag is having a moment. We are seeing lots of people with that bag. The bag's been around for a long time. It holds its value really well, but they are incredibly expensive and they are hard to get from the brand. So I decided before I got my Kelly to get my Celine 16 in the smooth satinated leather with gold hardware. It does have a shoulder strap with it as well, and it has a very similar vibe. Because it's simple, because it's timeless. Again, I know I'm going to be wearing this bag in 10 years time and it's still going to look effortless, and it goes with absolutely everything. These come in so many fantastic colors. You can get a mini. I have the small one here. They also have a classique size, which I recently tried on in this beautiful veg tanned leather, and the classique size would be perfect for work. Like, it's a much larger bag. It has a fantastic presence. I cannot recommend the Celine 16 bag enough. I'm super excited to hopefully get my hands on another one. The third best luxury bag. I think you're going to love me for this recommendation. This is a bag that only launched a few weeks ago, and I have been obsessed since the moment I laid eyes on it, and I finally got my hands on one. So this is from D'Amelio. This is a much more affordable luxury brand. Oh, the leather smells so good. So this is the brand new D'Amelio Miami bag. I went for the large size. It does come in a small size as well, in the black leather with gold hardware. They do a smaller version. Now, the reason that I'm saying this is one of the best bags you can buy is there's no doubt about it, okay? This style of bag with the ruche leather at the top has very much been on trend and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's kind of giving, I'm not trying too hard, but very effortless chic vibes at the same time, where you kind of throw it on your shoulder and you've just got loads of leather. Very quiet luxury as well. You only have the D'Amelio logo here on the front of the bag. They have this in 4 colors, by the way. They have it in taupe and off-white and this like cornflower blue. I'm really hoping they bring this out in like an aubergine, like a deep purpley plum red for autumn winter. That's going to be perfection. But I think the off-white and the blue at this moment in time have already sold out. So you can go on a wait list. I will link to these down below. But in this style, we have a very popular bag from Loewe, which is the squeeze bag. And we also have from Chanel, the Chanel 22 bag, which has been popular for quite a few years now. Now, the Chanel 22 bag retails for a small size at over £5,000 now. And the Loewe squeeze bag, I've tried one of these on. The small size, they retail around £3,000, around $3,500. And this is where the D'Amelio Miami bag really comes into its own, because this retails at $595 in the US, £445 in the UK for the large size. The smaller one is slightly cheaper. Duties and taxes are included when you shop on the D'Amelio website, so there's absolutely no kind of sting if you order one from abroad. When it lands at your door, you won't have multiple duties and taxes to pay. And they offer a lifetime repair service, so if anything functionality wise goes wrong with your bag, send it back to D'Amelio and they're going to repair it for you for free. This level of service from an affordable luxury brand, you know, you aren't paying for the big CC logo with one of these, you are paying for quality and you aren't being ripped off for it. I've been wearing mine non-stop. Definitely one of the best bags I think you can buy right now. And as mentioned, again, links will be down below to all these bags, worst and best, so you can shop along with this really easily. Okay, the fourth designer bag that I think is one of the best buys you can make this year is the Bottega Andiamo tote bag. Now, this has been hot for quite some time, in loads of different sizes, but I just think the way that this is woven, especially the suede versions, they look so beautiful. This is a very simple tote bag. The leathers that I have seen when I have tried one of these Bottega Andiamo bags on is really, really good, really high quality. And again, because we haven't got any major logos on this, it is going to stand the test of time. And then I also quite like the smaller size, the one with the chain specifically going through it, as like an everyday kind of grab and go shopping bag. Not too big, but will carry all your essentials. The best bag, number 5, is one that I've never spoken about really on this channel, but it is a bag that I have seen in person a few months ago. And I must say, it's been on my mind ever since. And if I didn't have such a big collection, I would for sure have one of these in my collection, and maybe I will do one day. But this is the Bulgari Serpenti top handle bag. Now, in terms of the designer bag world, I've already kind of on this with the Cabochon bag as an alternative to the Chanel 19. I don't think there's maybe enough kind of shouting about Bulgari. Like, the quality is exceptional. And I tried on the black medium top handle, me and Deb did when we were in Manchester. And I will say, it was the most beautiful thing. They also have it in this fantastic green color at the minute. What I really like, you have the top handle. I am a top handle bag lover, but also they have the detachable leather strap as well. So you could dress it up in the evening, use it with the top handle, and in the day you could use it as a crossbody bag. Again, fully leather lined, and the eyes of the snake on the front of the bag are precious stones. So depending on which style and color you get, the actual eyes of the snake on the front of the bag might be black onyx, for example. Bag number 6 is the Loewe Flamenco clutch bag. Now, the reason this one has made it into our best buy list is this is such a chic bag, but not only that, I do feel like it's quite versatile. It is trending and selling out really fast right now, and I can see why. So you can use this as a clutch bag. They come in various sizes, and an oversized clutch bag that you kind of ruche up and just lots of leather is very on trend right now. Again, low-key, you just have the Loewe small printed on the bag, but this bag actually comes with a chain strap as well, so you can wear it as a shoulder bag. And this piece, I think, is versatile enough that you can very easily wear it in the day and then wear it as a clutch bag, maybe an oversized clutch bag, depending on which size you get, into the evening, and it's not going to look out of place. I think my favorite color of this bag is the burgundy because it works so well with the gold on the chain strap that you can take off. And finally, before I reveal my favorite bag out of this entire list, bag number 7 that I think is one of the best bags you can buy is the Dior Desire bag. So this very much feels like the Lady Dior bag icon, the classic, but I've seen a lot of the Lady Dior bag over the years. You see a lot of them out, and I think they are really beautiful bags. However, the Desire feels slightly more casual whilst keeping the classic timeless element, and I really like the dimensions of this bag. So it's more of a rectangle than the traditional Lady Dior, which is a square shape. And I also like that the canage stitching on this is larger. So this as a work bag in the larger size, I think is going to be perfect. It's going to be very classic, again, timeless. And again, in 10 years time, this bag is still going to make sense. Whereas now with some of the Lady Dior's, you know, the D-lights with the logos on the front and all the different prints, whilst I think they can be incredibly beautiful, I have my book tote with the Jardin print on. The big logos on the front of some of them, the D-lights specifically, I don't think are so on trend right now, but a classic Desire bag, the beautiful shape of it, oh, I just think it's beautiful. My favorite out of this entire list, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Okay, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. It would probably be the Celine 16. Like, if I could only have bought one bag last year or this year, that would probably have been it. It's so classic, I've used it so much. In terms of a trendier bag though, my favorite would actually be the D'Melia, the Miami bag. I just think it's really cool. But if I had to pick one of the bags that I've just mentioned that I don't already own, do you know what? It would probably be the Bulgari Serpenti top handle. When I saw that bag in the smooth black leather and tried it on, it was so classic, and I knew that I would get loads of wear with it. Don't forget to download your free bag trend document for 2024-2025. Again, I will link it down below, and it has 20 outfits. The PDF is fully shoppable, so just click anywhere on it and you can go and buy those pieces. Speaking of bag trends, make sure you don't go anywhere, because the next video coming up, I will link it right here for you. The 10 biggest bag trends of 2024 going into 2025 and which brands are doing them the best. Enjoy.